Carlos, after the game the other day, you said we've got to get our starting pitching going. Besides just saying that and knowing that you want your starters to go deep, is there anything that, as a coaching staff or as a unit, they can do with that specifically in mind to get deeper in ball games?
Yeah, I mean, everyone is different, but I think it starts with attacking hitters and staying on the attack, avoiding deep counts. If you get ahead 0-2 before you know it, it's a 3-2 and it's a 7-8 pitch at bat. And you look up, it's the fourth inning and it's 80 pitches or something. It's the fifth inning and it's 85, 90. So I think it's just understanding this. And we've done that at times. It's been a struggle for the past, 6 weeks or so. And, I'm not making excuses, but like trying to build up some of the guys while we're trying to compete, it takes a toll, obviously. But now that we got to a point where everybody's full go and build up, where now, okay, we need to take that next step of staying aggressive, competing in the strike zone. You got to run a first one out instead of going for a strikeout. Maybe use that two seam if you got one against like a right on right, get a ground ball and get a double play, and you get 2 outs in one pitch. Just things like that we got to do a better job. And Hef is staying on top of it and having those discussions with our guys, and they'll step up.
Have you guys made a decision on Frankie yet?
Yeah, he's going to go to the bullpen. We had that conversation today. He's going to throw his side, and then the first day that he will be available is Thursday.
Do you have a starter yet for his?
No, it'll be on Saturday, but we're still having the discussion who the next guy that's going to take the baseball there.
Peter?
What's the latest on Paul Blackburn?
He's going to go one more tomorrow in AAA.
And then I guess doing the math, like, would he be a possibility for, probably not for Saturday?
Not for Saturday.
Was it possible somebody would be called up from AAA?
It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tony?
Just to follow up on that, David has said in the past that he would be reticent to call up the top pitching prospects that you guys have unless you could give them a runway. Do you consider this that type of runway?
Yeah, I mean, they are in the conversation, We just haven't decided who the guy is, but they're definitely in the conversation. And, we'll see where it goes. But whoever comes up here, if he's one of the prospects, the plan is for giving him a good look here.
What do you like about specifically McLean and Sproat, the guys who have obviously been there at AAA? I know you haven't made a decision, but what do you like about what you've seen from those two?
Yeah, there's a lot to like, especially where they at with their development. We continue to ask a lot, whether it's a Sproat with the changeup and finding something against lefty. Same thing with McLean, but the way they've been competing, they've been going more than 5 innings and they're getting results. So everything that we're asking them to do, they continue to do it, With McLean, same way. I mean, this is a guy that is not only his ability to pitch, but it's just the mentality to compete, the way he holds runners. Like, there's a lot to like, when you're talking to some of the staff members down in AAA. So, again, they continue to put themselves in a really good position, and here they are in the conversation.
Bruce?
Carlos, is the clock ticking in terms of getting it together as a ball club?
I think the clock is always ticking in the big league level, So it's not secret. I mean, you got to start playing better, There's a lot of good teams in the National League. We're a good team, but we got to go out there and do it. Understanding that there's no panic, but there's a sense of urgency, and it's always been like that. And they know, they understand where we are in the season, but so much I could sit here, they could say before or after the game, we got to go out there and do it.
So would you say there's urgency starting on this 6-game homestand?
I mean, there's urgency since opening day, So every game counts. Every game's important. Here we are in August, and the mentality is the same for us to go out there and get the job done.
Mike?
Carlos, just with Montas, was it just determined that basically he's got to kind of get it together down there in the bullpen, and kind of how would you use him down there?
Yeah, I mean, so right now, obviously, he'll be that long guy, but you never know. And that's what I told him, too. You could be pitching in the 8th inning on a tie ball game because of, where we at that day bullpen-wise. We try our best to give him enough time to get ready when we call his name. Obviously, the back-to-back is something that he's never done it. So it'll be fluid. It'll be fluid, but what I told him was we need him to be honest with us too. Like if he needs an extra day, he's got to let us know. So the recovery and how we're going to use it is still fluid.
Jerry?
Carlos, what was the deciding factor for you guys in making the decision now, sending Frankie to the bullpen now instead of making our start? Was there one particular factor for you guys?
No, we just need to see consistency, and he'll be the first one that tells you, it's been a battle for him health-wise, and then after he got back, we saw flashes for a couple of outings, but then it's been a battle, and he understands where we are in the season, and that's why we made the decision.
Brian?
Carlos, I was curious what you had seen from Lindor at this point. I mean, does he look tired at all to you? Does he need a blow or maybe like a game or two, sitting against lefties? What do you see from him, and what is he going to take to turn him and get him back to the Lindor that we're accustomed to, I guess?
Too good of a player, and we all sit in here and, same thing with him, but to give him a blow, he's the first one out there hitting early. We saw it again today, like he's trying to find a way to get back on track. We need him. He knows that. I don't think any of us, and even himself, anticipated this stretch being for this long, but he's too good of a player. He'll figure it out. As far as like sitting him, he's our guy, we got to get him going, and he will.
Ben?
Carlos, the conversation with Frankie, just how did he take all of this, moving, obviously, the opener over the weekend, now moving to the bullpen permanently. I would imagine it's tough for him. How did he sort of take the news?
Yeah, not happy. He's a competitor. He wants to start, and that's what we brought him in for. But understanding that the results haven't been there, so he understood, and he's willing to do whatever it takes. Again, the communication is going to be the big factor here. But it wasn't a surprise today. This was something that I kind of put it on the table with him on Sunday. And then today we finally, had that final conversation.
Andy?
With Montas, could you see, given like the makeup of your rotation, whether it's Holmes innings or some kids that could come up, could you see Montas being in a piggyback kind of situation?
We haven't discussed that specifically, whether it's like you're pitching the piggyback situation where it's like, all right, you're pitching this day after so and so. We haven't had that discussion. Now, we're gonna go through a stretch here pretty soon where we're playing, I think, 16 in a row, and we're probably gonna need an extra, like a sixth starter or so. He might still flexible, still fluid. In the meantime, right now, he's gonna be there.
Abby?
Frankie had some good starts coming off of the injured list, and then it seemed to spiral from there. Just what was the change between, the Montas that made those first few starts and the one that we've seen more recently?
Yeah, that first one was 5 innings, and I don't think he gave up a run. And then the following one was good too. But then it's just a little bit of everything: getting behind hitters, pitch selection, pitch usage. Not executing, and that's kind of like where he's at now. We've seen a couple of good innings, and then he loses it for one, So we just, obviously, being on that role as a starting pitching, you got to be able to get through a lineup 2 times, 3 times, and we just haven't been able to do that with him.
And changing the subject a little bit, but just Pete coming back here with a chance to set the record, what would that mean in front of a home crowd?
Yeah, special, talking about a number, talking about history. So many great players that put up this uniform, and here we are, one away from witnessing something special, And for him to be able to do it here, but again, I don't think nobody's thinking about the home run record. Pete will say that too. So, hopefully he's a big one that helps us win a baseball game.
Howie?
Carlos, is there a school of thought that when a team has struggled the way yours has recently, and you're considering bringing up a young, significant prospect, even if it's just for one start, to join the rotation, is part of the decision made around the potential that a young player that the organization is looking at to contribute significantly down the road can give a team that's been struggling a certain burst of energy that could go beyond just whatever he's able to accomplish on the mound that night?
Yeah, it seems like that's the case, throughout the course of the year. I think we saw it last year with Mark Vientos, when he came up. We saw it with whether it was a Luis Torrens or a Jose Iglesias. Luis Angel Acuna towards the end, when Lindor went down. But at the same time, we don't want to put that extra pressure. But it's always good to see those young guys, if we ended up going that route, and just kind of insert the youth and the energy. But energy, we got to create our own energy there. But I've seen what you're saying. But yeah, we'll see what this go.
Joel.
I kind of have the opposite question. I don't know if there's such a thing as a soft spot to bring up a guy, say, to make his debut, but it maybe like May 4th on the road feels a little easier than in the middle of a pennant race for a struggling team in late August. I wonder what you think about inserting somebody into that situation.
Yeah, look, I think it just development-wise, May 4th, which is the day that you're bringing up, we didn't feel that they were ready to come up and help us. Right now they're putting themselves in a position where, like, hey, man, this might be the time. We did it last year with Acuna. At the end of the day, we don't want to put that extra pressure on them. We want them to go out there and be themselves, and we'll feel like right now they're putting themselves in a position where they could help us where we at on the schedule.
Joe.
Carlos, just to go back to Blackburn for a second, is there something that you're looking for in particular in this next rehab start that maybe he hasn't shown in the previous ones? Or
Not really. He's going on regular rest. And I think this is the first time he's going on regular, but he's been throwing the ball well, so I think he just continue to build up the volume, making sure that he's, like repeating the 90 pitch mark, the 85, 95 between that range consistently. And he's done that. So, but as far as like me looking at something specific, he's been doing pretty good on there.
Tim.
Just looking at Sproat and McLean, they both pitched very well, especially lately. How do you try to distinguish between the two of them if it does come down to them, and who do you lean on to help make that decision?
I'll let David in front office and player development, I watch film and all that, but when it comes down to making the final call, that's out of my hand.